Hi, this is Belinda with Belinda's Baubles, and welcome to a little extra video I wanted to do to go along with the Topping Out Mal that we have going on at the moment, which is co-hosted by Mandy with Mouse's Makes. Today is January 4th, 2024. You may hear a few little running of the dogs in the background. I was trying to get this started when everyone was asleep. Seaver is off from university for his break before his final semester for undergraduate. Unfortunately, he has gotten sick, so he's resting. Sam is still has long COVID, it seems like, and is still getting rid of the cough. So everything is quiet in the house. The dogs are all asleep, so I thought this would be the perfect time. An hour later, I'm finally set up. 4 more trips up the stairs. I finally have all of my under construction bags here. So it's a case of, oh well. If you saw my last video, no, I'm not sick. I know I looked bad. That was just a case of working in retail over Christmas. It pulls everything out of you, along with trying to just have Christmas yourself. Between Thanksgiving and Christmas here in the U.S., retail is bonkers, and I do work in retail, so it just drags everything out of you. So you saw me full on half dead, but I wanted to get that video up. Okay, so today I have the day off. I have a couple of days off actually, so I am excited. I'm ready to go, and I want to record a couple of videos. Today I want to get this one done, which will go with all my under construction projects that I want to at least lay my hands on. I'm not expecting to finish these during these 3 months. If I get a couple of them done, then I will be happy. Please, if you're joining us for this make-along, do not feel like you have to get everything done. There will be pattern prizes every month. Those are for your entries on Ravelry or emailing me at belindasbaubles@gmail.com. On Ravelry, that's under Mouse's Makes with Mandy. She's handling the Ravelry portion. I still am trying to get Ravelry up and going for that portion of my Ravelry. I utilize Ravelry quite a bit, but I just haven't gotten much into the chatter threads as of yet. So she's helping me out extensively with that, but I'll be looking in on it as well. Bear with me. I'm not working from notes per se. I do have my works in progress or my under construction items listed on Ravelry, so I'll be looking down at my laptop quite a bit, so bear with me, but I am trying to do better at looking at you guys in the eye. When I'm exhausted, that eye contact just does not happen. So today should be better than the last video. I apologize for that. But I have my 11 bags over here. My one I just finished, which is my Stormy Skies top by Lauren Willis. It's a crochet top. It is a paid-for pattern. It is done both in U.S. terms and UK terms. You get both of those whenever you purchase the pattern. And I absolutely love this. It has some baubles. It has just different things along the lines. And I used my 2023 Advent kit from Charming You to make it. I had the box here. I've put it away. Let me put a picture up here of what I have left of the Advent, which is not very much at all. I'm going to take what I have left of this yarn, and I'm going to try my hand at my first magic ball and just see what happens with it. Okay, so this is my first completed object. So out of what started out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. What started out as 13 under construction between active and inactive items I'm now down to 12. Yay! And as you can see, I'm enjoying wearing this. I haven't even blocked it yet. It needed to be worn. So let's take a look here in my little notebook on Ravelry. Select my filter for hibernation. I figure those are the ones that I really need to look at first, is the things that are in hibernation. And the first one, this was the first project I ever started in knitting. I've been crocheting since I was around 9 or 10 years old. I kept trying to knit. My mother knit, my brother knits, and it was something that they started whenever, and I think they went to like a mommy and me class, is what I understand, whenever I was probably a baby or toddler, and so it wasn't something that was included for me necessarily at that time. But they both tried showing me again and again and again, and my head just wouldn't wrap around it. Crocheting, I was taught in school. We were done with our curriculum. It was a small Christian school, and we were done with our curriculum, our arts projects and everything. One of our teachers was getting married. So they had us all bring in yarn, and we crocheted a granny square. And that's how I started learning to crochet. I taught myself how to read patterns, and it just all started with that granny square, because you learn so much in a granny square. And one of the teachers took all those granny squares, put them together, and made a blanket for the teacher that was getting married. Whether or not she still has it or anything, I have no clue. But it started me on my love of fiber. But again, I kept trying to learn to knit, could not wrap my head around it for anything. So I ended up putting it aside, and as I got older, my hands were really getting bothered. I had to give up crocheting for a couple of years because I was getting stiff arm, carpal tunnel was happening, all sorts of issues went up to my shoulders. I even started wearing magnets on my wrist and everything. So I had to put it aside, and that just about killed me. So I tried knitting again, using YouTube at that point, because there was YouTube. And around the age of 50, it finally clicked. And I was very thankful for it. I love crochet, but anytime I crochet for any length of time, I get pain in my shoulders, pain in my arm, my hand swells up. So it's still something I do limited. I did really well with this top, but the first thing that I tried, all that to say that the first thing I tried knitting and started knitting on was a baby blanket. And I just cast on. There's no pattern. It's garter stitch. It was just a chance to get me to learn, going back and forth and just testing out. Which one thing about, I was very consistent with my tension in crocheting, so it seemed to have made it to where my tension was pretty consistent in knitting. This was just an acrylic cake. I don't even know the brand or anything, that I got from Walmart. There's two, it's very wide. It has drop stitches, all sorts of stuff. So what I have decided to do is just continue it on with some I Love This Yarn acrylic from Hobby Lobby. So it's got all of these down here, and I'm just going to make a wide white stripe. This is for just sitting in front of the TV. I'm using, I was wondering what had happened to these, my US 8 5mm needles. No idea how much I cast on. I'm probably about 60% of the way through this. I started it probably the end of 2019. So it's my oldest item on the needles. I don't have anyone particularly to give it to. I probably would give it to someone within the family just for the fact that it's got mistakes and everything, and I think someone that's close to you would forgive that a little easier. So that's my first one. Then next would be something I had to go dig and dig for because I really haven't touched it in a while. The anthology throw. And the anthology throw, I am 25% of the way through. This is by Helen Stewart and was part of her 2022 knit vent. I made several projects in the 2022 knit vent, loved them and everything. Everybody went crazy over the anthology throw, and I probably would have loved it more if I was doing minis. But I decided to do something a little different than what everyone else was doing. And I had some yarn I really wanted to use in some colors that I do love. And I'm going to love this project whenever it's done. I just don't do really good on large projects. Sweaters are usually the biggest thing. I don't do blankets other than baby blankets, but I thought I could do this throw. It will take me a while. I will eventually get it done, but it may or may not be during this make-along. Okay, let me pull all of this out. Excuse the rattling. I've got this in bags to kind of protect it. And these are the counters that I use. We use them for baseball. Can't see if you can see that real good. But I have a whole bunch of these that I got off of Amazon that I throw in my bag, so I know that I am on row 100, or I finished row 115. So I'm on row 116. Okay. So bear with me while I get my yarn information here. With Helen Stewart's patterns, she tells you as you go through, you have your little check marks and everything, and you can tell exactly how far along you are in the project. So I know I am exactly 25% through the project. And I am well, there's no reason to have that out because all the colors are in here. So I am using Hank Me Home Tonight's squishy sock. Which one was it? Shop Till You Drop. And my coloring is really off. It was really foggy outside. Now it's really bright, and it has messed with my lighting badly. Plus I'm downstairs instead of in my normal spot. Let's see if I can get, okay, that's a little better. It's actually a little bit of a paler pink than what it's showing here. Ah, that's it. Okay, this down here. Shop Till You Drop by Hank Me Home Tonight. Gloria, that dyes for On the Lamb Yarn Shop, that I seem to have started collecting over the years. Then I've got Madeline, the three of the others, I think. We'll see. Three of the others are Madeline Tosh, Merino Light, and Glitter. Is Mars in Retrograde, which are going to be, okay, back from station identification and all of that. I think I've got the lighting a little bit better. Apologize for this. It's just, I seem to do better at night, actually, getting good lighting, and upstairs in that green room. Okay, so where were we? Mars in Retrograde, which is this one right here, which is a pink with speckles, and also has some reds and stuff in it. Then California Poppy, which is this peachy, bright orange color. Espionage, which is this which is this red here. And then this purple and burgundy one, this is actually a one-of-a-kind from Madeline Tosh. So the majority of this is Madeline Tosh. And I need to get some stoppers on here. And I am using 4.5 US 7s. And this is what I've got going so far. And I'm just kind of striping. I think I was doing about 10 rows, but I don't even remember now. Just kind of changing as I feel like it, since I just have the 5 that I'm working with instead of any minis. The 7 Shrug. When I made my first secret summer crop, or summer secret crop, I wanted something to just go on my shoulders whenever, and I had some of the yarn left over whenever I wasn't using it, or whenever I just need a little something more. And that's what the purpose of this is. There we go. The only thing I have left to do you may be surprised or not. Proby is hyper. He's got the zoomies this morning, if you can hear his nails going crazy over there on the floor. The only thing I have left to do is to soak it, block it, and once it's blocked, then I will attach the arms together, weave in the ends, and it's done. So this is basically 95% done. And it has been sitting in this bag. It's one of my bags that my stepmom Donna made me. But it has been sitting in this bag for a good 3 months, 4 months, at that stage. This is getting done this week. All right, then I have, it's in here. Where did I put them? Nope. Strawberry shortcake socks. This was from a make-along that I was participating in over the summer. It's a free pattern by Antonia Stonell, or Stonell, I'm not sure which. I'm using Hank Me Home Tonight squishy sock in Brick Tamland. It's a gorgeous tonal, and also some black Cascade Heritage. It has been in here too long. I have dropped a bunch of stitches on both. I had started both so that I could work them in tandem. I've dropped over half the stitches on this one and at least 3 or 4 on this one. So this needs some love before I have to rip it back because I've lost the stitches too much. Okay, so that's in my I need to work on today projects. Okay, and then the last thing that I have that's snoozing is my Raina shawl. And the only reason it was really snoozing is because it's more of a spring-summer make. And I wanted to get some winter stuff done as it got colder. And so I started snoozing it just because of that. I am using Arkansas Yarn Company's Yummy Plush in Feels Like Summer. This is a 1 skein shawl in lace. Here we go. Again, one of my stepmom Donna's bags. We are discussing maybe putting some of her bags in a coffee shop. That's still under discussion and we're still figuring it out. They would only be available in the US right now just because of how much postage is, unless I can figure out a less expensive way to post elsewhere. Okay. So that's my first 5. So let's come out of hibernating and go into my in progress under construction. Okay, so unicorn vomit socks. I'm past the heel. There we go. I just need to measure these. I need to measure them to see if I'm ready to start the toe. I haven't worked on them in a couple of weeks for that reason. I really do want those done because I want to wear them. So I have that. Over Christmas in July, I started a litmus cowl. Eek! Yarn going everywhere. It started out as Christmas. It, went into Halloween, as you can tell from the, the stoppers. And I am using, my main color is the Cascade Yarn Heritage Sock in Smoked Pearl. Here we go. And then I am using No Monster Minis from Charming You Lush Sock for all the minis. So I'm into my 4th color. I don't remember how many are in here. But, it's an easy knit. I really want this because I have my other one that I made 2 years ago, and I wear it every day. So I really would like another one. This one's going to be brighter in color because I used it as a shawl instead of as a scarf. I cast on 150 stitches. This is a free pattern. Normally you cast on 100. I cast on 150, and that makes it to where it's wider, but it's shorter, so I can wear it just around my shoulders. And it ends up being 62 inches with 18 mini skein stripes and 19 main color stripes. I have all this information on Ravelry. Any of these items are listed in Ravelry if you want to go over to my page and look at them, or you're welcome to message me. I'll also have links to all the Ravelry pages down below on this video. Okay, so next up, if I don't have my brain, which Ravelry has kind of become, I'll lose it completely. Okay, the next one on my list here is my newest cast on. I did this, I think, around the 30th. What am I doing? Let's see. When did I cast this on? The 28th of December. And I haven't done much on it yet. I'm still in the collar. Silver Bells is by Tin Can Knits. This is a really pearlescent, shimmery yarn that I'm using. It's Mirasol Inca, which is 64% viscose, 36% baby alpaca. Super fine in carnelian. And it's just so shimmery. Along with, and I'm holding that double because it calls for you to use just some kind of fluff. And I decided to use this instead. And I'm holding it double with some Nomad yarn in eggshell, which is just natural undyed. They had a sale a while back, and I bought just a bunch of their skeins. So that one is just started, and I'm going to be working my way through it just as a winter spring top that I want to get to. Okay. I'm trying to, again, okay, this was one of my dodgy bags that I made. I'm wanting to get through, and I'm just moving them from one side to the other so I know what's left. And actually, I skipped one that has been, you know, I don't even know if I have this one on Ravelry or not. Okay. This is a crocheted amigurumi. Really bad here. Okay, where am I at? This is Puppy Dog Amigurumi Toy Crochet Pattern by First Twin Company. It is a paid-for pattern. I made several of these before for my grandchildren, and the granddaughter asked me to make one for a friend of hers when her friend was expecting. I think the little girl is now 3. I have the body. I do have the body made. Okay, I am using a cotton. I know that, in white. It will have some orange to go with University of Texas on it. And this was just stuff that I had in stash. So I'm not real sure of actual yarn colors and everything. Thankfully, I still have my hook in here. And I have the pattern in here. So, body down, now on to the legs, head, ears, and tail. So this is one that has got to get done before the child is in university herself. Plus, Shauna has hardly ever asked me to make anything specific. She asked me to make this, and you can see how well I'm doing on it. Not very good at all. So, you should see the mountain over here. Okay, so I'm down to my last 3, which this one is Sam's orange and yellow polka dot socks. I'm getting a bit of an orange stripe down the side there. Need to work that out. But Ta-da! See if I can get some good color there. Okay. These are the tessellated socks by Andrea Mowry. They're not designed to be polka dot socks. It's actually designed for 3 colors. But one of my other videos, I explained that every time you ask Sam what color he wants something to be, he says he wanted it to be orange with yellow polka dots. So he's getting some orange with yellow polka dots finally. I am using, the orange is Cascade Yarns Heritage Wave, color number 502. And the yellow is Cascade Yarn Heritage, color number 5774. And this orange is actually pretty cool. It's got orange and gold in there. Next is another one I had to chase down. It's another one I'm making for my children. This one is for Seaver. I crocheted Seaver a scarf probably 4 years ago, and he wears it. Did not realize how much he wears it until he was showing it to me. He's like, "Can you fix this?" Huge gaping holes. He has worn that sucker out, which, you know, you want them to wear these things. You want them to use them. So as a knitter or crocheter, you really do want them to use them, and I'm glad he is. But he asked me if I would make him another scarf. I'm so sorry about that. My battery died, and that usually doesn't happen to me because I'm usually good about charging my batteries, and this last couple of weeks has been crazy. Okay, so I'm not real sure where I got to. So let's repeat here a little bit. This is a good scarf by Barbara Benson. It's a paid-for pattern. And one of the things I love about it is it has the same pattern on both sides. So it's reversible. It is for Seaver. And I'm hoping I got all the explanations so I don't have to repeat that to you. Sorry if I didn't. We'll talk another time about it. But I am using Cascade Yarns Heritage Sock, which in green, which is the dark green here, and Hank Me Home Tonight Squishy Sock and Snake Juice to add the other different green and brown colors to it. I'm holding them double to get DK. And I am using a US 8. So I haven't gotten very far on it. I need to keep going on it. He may or may not have it for this winter. All right. And we are down to the last in my pile. And I've actually been working on this one this week, and I'm hoping to have it done quickly. And let's see. This is my Summer Secret Crop, which I am calling my Autumn Secret Crop. It's a free pattern by Jessie Maid Designs. This will be my second one. I really do love it as a layering piece. I even wear it under my work smock at times, whenever it's getting too hot or too cold. This one is in Hank Me Home Tonight Stripey DK in Rainbow Road. And that's actually a pretty good representation. This one shows up really nicely on here. I'm in my second skein, and I'm doing a hybrid sizing, kind of in between medium and large. And what I did was I cast on 160 stitches because large was too big, medium was too small. And I have just gotten to a 12-inch mark, so I've just done my first row of ribbing across the back. This is a free pattern, and it's probably going to end up with me making quite a few of these just as layering pieces. With Texas weather and everything, I can wear that and just throw a shawl, throw a jacket, or just wear them on their own. So this one I'm expecting to actually get done during these 3 months. I should get it done in these 3 months. I should get it done in the month of January. All right, that's it for me and my pile. If you only have one project on the go, that's perfectly fine. Please do enter it. You know, if you've started it before the 1st of January, go over to Ravelry, post pictures as you're going along. Those are all entries. Talk on there, chatter. For finished objects, that'll be for the prizes at the end in March. Watch my YouTube channel. Mandy has asked that I make the announcements here. Please do subscribe. I've gained a lot of new subscribers. I'm very thankful for you. I think last I looked, I'm around 285. So it's moving on. I'm excited about everybody watching and joining in with me and for this community. This is I'm not planning on going anywhere. I only do usually one video a month just because of my work schedule. I don't get things done quick enough since I do work a full-time job necessarily. We do have a few things coming up, such as Yarn Crawl here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area of Texas. I'll be doing videos on it again this year, and some of it's going to be going even further out. Last year was about 600 miles of driving. I'm not sure how many it's going to be this year because one of the shops has moved even further. And it's one of my favorite shops, so I definitely want to make it to it. Some of these shops, that's the only time of the year I make it there with the distance and everything. And I love visiting with the owners, seeing what's unique in each of these shops. And it combines two different things for me. My love of yarn and travel. So that's coming up in April. I think it's April. I'm pretty sure it's April. So that'll be after all of this is done. So I will also be making a Make 9 video. It's not something I've done before. I'm using my queue on Ravelry for that. And I will be doing that video sometime this week. Since I do not have photos of the actual items, I've got emails out to all of the designers that I'm using their patterns to see if they'll allow me to use their photos. So that is coming up soon too. So send me a note, say hi, hit that like and subscribe button, and I will see you shortly. Have a great week.